and I volunteer at various NGOs. I'm currently serving as the Director Operations Lahore in a student-led NGO that's operating in two cities right now, basically the Pakistan Himayat Network. So apart from that, I am a cooking blogger as well, and I like to sing. So I think that's all about me.
That sounds like incredibly impactful work. I just love the cooking part because I also love to cook, but I especially do it when I'm kind of stressed out. So, and I'm not
No.
really a good chef. You can, if you ask my family, they're gonna tell you like a lot of bad things about me. Yeah. Okay, so let's start by exploring the broader, context.
Sure.
So, Halima, can you provide an overview of the UN's involvement in the Israel-Palestine conflict from its inception to the present day?
Acha, for speaking of the UN's involvement, it all started back in 1947. Okay? When the first resolution was passed, the resolution 181, which basically stated the two-state solution. I think we already have intro about what the two-state solution basically is, but basically it's creating two states. One is the Jewish state, and the other one is the Palestinian state, right? So it was basically rejected by the Palestinians, and it was accepted by the Jews. Because definitely they wanted a country. And the next we right. So after the declaration of the Israeli state in 1948, it led to the first Arab-Israel war. Okay, in the result of which Israel occupied like almost 77% of the Palestinian territories, right? After that, in 1949, yes, in 1949, the second Arab war, this Israel-Arab war, basically in this, the Israel occupied the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and the East Jerusalem, which was basically the Palestinian territories, right? So then the UN got in, okay, and there was the resolution 242, if I'm not wrong. Yes, 242.
Yeah,
and according to resolution 242, the Israel was supposed to withdraw the occupied territories, okay, including Gaza, including the West Bank, and the East Jerusalem. ठीक है उसके बाद we have then the peace efforts ठीक है and agreements they kept on going, and then we come to the 20s. All right, and in between there were the Oslo Accords, and I think we have already discussed this in the previous episode, right?
Yeah, you're right. So all right, so
basically so like after all the peacekeeping what do we say efforts, the last thing it was in the 2020s. Again, it was up to the two-state resolution, the two-state solution, fine. So like it's back to where we started, the resolution 181.
Yeah.
So I think that's the overall involvement of UN in the whole conflict.
So now that the conflict has, it started in 1947, but after 7th October 2023, it has kind of, restarted, and the whole ethnic cleansing thing and the genocide, the Holocaust, the neo-colonialism situation, whatever, you want to call it. So how does the UN, address the issues of the region, such as the conditions in Gaza and the West Bank?
Well, I don't think that it restarted because it never stopped. To get the conflict, the war, it was there. It has always been there. So we can say that it restarted on October 7th. It was like ongoing to get all along. So your question was, I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, it was how does the UN address humanitarian issues in the region, such as the conditions in Gaza and the West Bank?
So basically, there is like a combination of direct aid. Okay, they advocate for Palestinian lives as well. Okay, according to them, and they are making diplomatic efforts as well. Yeah, well, again, according to them. So when we talk about the direct aid, we know that there are many countries who have given humanitarian aid to the Palestine, to Gaza specifically, because of the situation right now, right? Yeah. But the Israeli government, they're not allowing the aid trucks to enter Gaza, right? So I don't understand what's the purpose of UN, because UN is aiding them, all right? UN is directly aiding them, but it's not, if it's not reaching them, then what's the purpose? It's not reaching the people of Gaza. It's not
Exactly.
benefiting them, then what's the purpose?
Hmm.
Okay, and when we say that they advocate for Palestinian lives, then I don't see any advocacy right now.
Mhm.
So I don't think that's the role of UN in providing the humanitarian aid.
All right. So, Halima, what role does the UN Relief and Works, agency, which is also known as UNRWA, so what role does it play in supporting Palestinian refugees, and what challenges does it face?
So basically, when we talk about the supporting the refugees, it basically depends on aiding as well to get the funding. And if the funding like stops, if the funding is discontinued, so it is one of the very big challenges. Okay? Then again, the governments, then again the political issues. Okay? Even if you're trying to do something, I don't think they are trying to do.
Yeah.
But even if they claim to do something, then again there are political issues in the region, and like you can't actually help them, and they're like not directly able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
As for the refugees, I had some of things listed down here. Yes, the other are operational difficulties. Okay, because definitely they can't. Well, they can, but again, they don't want to. I want to say they can, because UN, they have the power to do everything they want.
Yeah.
So we can just say that they can do that, they want to do that, but they can't, because definitely if they want to do, they would. That's what I would like to say.
Yeah, and the question is कि why should they leave their homeland just because someone has invaded their land and अब वो terrorism करके उनकी land ले रहे, तो मतलब the question is कि हम कहते हैं कि यार वो आ सकते हैं, वो छोड़ क्यों नहीं रहे वो जगह, ठीक है, तो वो क्यों,
Exactly.
मतलब it is their homeland, ठीक है, अगर वो छोड़ देंगे तो it is extremely easy for the predator and for those who have invaded the land, ठीक है, to permanently stay there. ये तो फिर अगर यही था तो 1947 के बाद ही there were a lot of opportunities. 1967 war थी, 1972 की war थी, they could have evacuated, but they do not want to. And the thing is, Palestinians जो है, I have listened to a lot of them, ठीक है, and their level of faith, and not just in God, in themselves, ठीक है, in the situation, it's not just circumstantial, it's just that they know कि वो कर लेंगे, and they don't even need anyone's help, किसी भी मुल्क की, they don't need help right now, although जितने
Exactly.
situation है, जितनी desperation वगैरह है, उन्होंने ये कहा है कि यार अगर help करनी होती तो it's like almost been a year, 11 months है, no one has done anything, so we're like good now. Yeah, either we would perish, or either we would fight till death, which is what they're doing.
Like, I admire their determination, because again, what you said, it's their homeland. They're not supposed to leave just because someone went through something really harsh or something really rough. It's not their fault. It wasn't their fault. First of all, it wasn't their fault if something happened to the Jews.
Exactly. Yeah.
So why are you making them leave their homeland? And like, if you see the history, मतलब बार जब कोई wars हुई, they were displaced. They had to go somewhere. They were expelled. They were मतलब why the Palestinians? The Americans, they support Israel so much. Then why don't you take them? Why don't you take them to America? Why don't you like start like why don't you give places to Israel in your own in your own country? Why do you have to? I mean, I think there is this religious factor, okay, I have a very staunch belief on, and maybe some people might not agree with me. That's where the Al-Aqsa comes in the discussion, because when you see, there was a very biased discussion on the behalf of UN as well, कि जब partition plan हुआ, when there was the two-state solution, उसमें भी उन्होंने अगर आप लोगों को थोड़ी सा एरिया इजराइल को दे दिया, बाकी थोड़ा एरिया पैलेस्टाइन को दे दिया, still Jerusalem was neutral, ठीक है, it was internationalized, कि उस पे like मतलब what was the purpose? Because definitely Al-Aqsa, that's a mosque, ठीक है, and the importance it has for Muslims, ठीक है, I don't understand why it had to be internationalized, why it had to be neutral,
Yeah.
ठीक है, why it had to be for both Jews and for the Muslims, when Muslims have right on Al-Aqsa more than the Jews. So यहाँ पे तो I don't think I'm going to dwell into that discussion, but with the Dajjal wali side discussion, but it's okay. Let's proceed to the next question.
Yeah, and Halima, there is this question जो मुझसे बहुत लोगों ने किया है, बल्कि मैंने उनसे किया है कि what they say is कि यार चलो यूएस तो फिर भी उसमें विलेन तो यूएस बना है कि वो अभी भी आर्म सप्लाई कर रहा है इसराइल को, तो यूएन का क्या कसूर है? तो द थिंग इज कि like for the people who don't know, UN is an organization that was founded post Second World War by the United States, ठीक है,
Yes.
and दुनिया के most of the countries जिसमें से I think all of the Islamic countries वो जो है उसके member states हैं, right? And you know what has happened since day one, since जब से वो बना था कि and Israel and Palestine both are parts of that. तो उन्होंने कहा है कि उनके UN Security Council ने, Human Rights Council ने उन्होंने you know इस तरह के रेजोल्यूशंस पास किए हैं कि सीज फायर हो जाना चाहिए, इट्स अबाउट टाइम सब कुछ रुक जाए, यू नो, या एंड मतलब वी कांट हैंडल सिचुएशन। तो द थिंग इज कि यूएस जब मतलब वो जो है बेसिकली उस इदारे को चला रहा है, ठीक है, उसके हेडक्वार्टर्स जो है मेन वो यूएस में ही है। एंड हाउ कैन दिस बी द केस कि यूएन कह रहा है वी आर द ह्यूमैनिटेरियंस, हम उनकी हेल्प कर रहे हैं, एंड ऑन द अदर हैंड बाइडेन जो है वो आर्म सप्लाई कर रहा है, मतलब रोजाना
Exactly.
खबरें आ रही हैं उनको।
Exactly.
How, मतलब I don't
That's the
get it.
hypocrisy, na? That's the hypocrisy.
That is hypocrisy.
Okay, like
And
when I was researching for the podcast, I was doing my research, and you're gonna see everywhere. Okay, UN is doing this, UN is doing that, UN is providing them aid, UN advocates for their life. But how? Like at one place you're advocating for their lives, you're advocating for peace, and on the other hand you are supplying them arms. And literally your signature, like you're signing on them, and then you're supplying them arms. Like I don't understand what is this. This is so messed up.
yeah.
And it's like ya to it's concealed, na, ya to it wasn't that real, kisi ko pata na hota, to that's something else. It's right there in front of us. And then I don't know how they have the audacity to justify it. I just don't get that. And speaking of America, you are, the veto power, okay? You are, indirectly you are ruling the world, okay? And this is your power and this is your dominance कि आप UN तो इस बात को accept कर रहा है कि okay whatever is happening it's so inhuman, ये नहीं होना चाहिए, इजराइल को condemn भी करते हैं हम, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ आप इजराइल का पूरे support दे रहे हैं, इजराइल is your brother country.
Exactly. एंड जिससे आपने पहले कहा कि यार दुनिया में कभी भी कोई ट्रेजेडी हो, कोई इमरजेंसी हो, कोई नेशनल डिजास्टर हो, यूएन जो है वो फौरन अपनी वहाँ फोर्सेस भेजता है, एड भेजता है, एंड मामला चंद घंटों में या चंद दिनों में मैक्सिमम सॉल्व हो जाता है। एंड बट आई डोंट वांट टू बी बायस्ड राइट नाउ, बट as far as I have studied history in depth, I have seen के शुरू से ही यूएन का जो रोल था, ठीक है, एंड यूएस वाज लाइक इट वाज द लीडिंग पार्टी, ठीक है, द क्रिमिनल आई वुड से, एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू नोम चॉम्स्की उसने ये कहा था कि यूएस इज अ रोग स्टेट, व्हिच इज ट्रू, बट सिंस वी टॉकिंग अबाउट द यूएन, तो व्हाट ही सेड वाज के एंड दैट पार्ट ऑफ हिस्ट्री इज करेक्ट कि भाई आपने जो कुवैत में जंग की, एंड इट वाज जस्ट बिकॉज कॉलोनियलिज्म वगैरह, और आपको वहां से ऑयल चाहिए था, आपने इराक की जंग करवाई, देन इराक को आपने इन्वेड किया सद्दाम हुसैन को ओवरथ्रो करने के लिए, एंड देन आपको रियलाइज हुआ कि वहां तो कुछ था ही नहीं, आप वहां गए थे वहां उसके वेपन्स ऑफ मैस डिस्ट्रक्शन तबाह करने, एंड देन जब आपने सब इराक को तबाह कर दिया, वहां वॉर हो गई, एंड देन यू रियलाइज कि नहीं वहां
मिला नहीं आपको वहां से।
एग्जैक्टली, एंड देन 9/11 परसों ही उसकी एनिवर्सरी थी, एंड मैंने दोबारा उसकी हिस्ट्री दफा पढ़ी, एंड व्हाट मोस्ट पीपल से राइट नाउ इज के यार आई थिंक वी थिंक के वो सारा इट वाज जस्ट इस्लामोफोबिया, एंड जो बुश ने कहा था कि वॉर ऑन टेररिज्म वगैरह, वो इट वाज जस्ट टू वीकन द मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी, द मिडिल ईस्टर्न कंट्रीज है वो सारा, ताकि अपनी उनकी जो उनके पंजे गड़ सकें, एंड देन उनकी एक हेजेमनी है वो कायम हो सके, एंड दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंड। एंड अब भी आप देखें कि सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद ही यूएस की इतनी ज़्यादा जो थी कॉलोनी जो थी अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज थे, उसमें यूके का अगर देखे जाए आप, क्योंकि यूके भी यूएन ही में आता है, तो उसकी वो उस पाकिस्तान जो था, इवन वो जो था उसका एक मैंडेट था, तो वी नॉट गोइंग डेल्व इन दैट राइट नाउ। बट यूएन के साथ इसराइल जो था उसने कितना को फेयर प्ले किया। अगर चले पैलेस्टीनियंस जो टेररिस्ट हैं, इसराइलीज एक्सट्रीमिस्ट हैं, तो शुरू में जब यूएन ने इनको कहा कि यू नीड टू स्टॉप, पैलेस्टीनियंस का लैंड है वो, व्हाट वी कैन डू इज 75%, 50% आपका होगा, 50% पैलेस्टीनियंस का होगा। तो फिर इन्होंने दे वर रियली एंग्री। इजरायलीज ने कैंप डेविड होटल था, वो था पैलेस्टाइन में ही, और वहाँ वो हेडक्वार्टर्स था अमेरिकन का, तो वहाँ इन्होंने बॉम्ब किया और वहाँ मोर देन 50 अमेरिकन वर किल्ड। एंड येट अमेरिका जो है वो फुल ऑडेसिटी के साथ सपोर्ट कर रहा है इसराइल को। तो आई डोंट नो उसमें इसका ऐसा क्या वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट है कि अब तक उसको सपोर्ट किए जा रहे हैं। लेकिन बहरहाल अब आते हैं हम नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की तरफ, हलीमा, कि व्हाट आर
And
सम
you know, speaking of 9/11,
या
I have read an article जिसमें ये था कि almost, I don't know, like maybe 200 or something, 40 something, like there used to be Israeli workers, Jew workers in the building, ठीक है, in the twin buildings, ठीक है, and at the day, not even one of them was present.
एग्जैक्टली
Not even
that is
not
what
even
I
one
read
of the
too.
Jew employee
Yes,
was there. And
उस दिन एक भी जू नहीं था। कैसे और क्यों? अगर वाकई उसामा बिन लादेन ने कराया था तो ही वुड हैव किल्ड द जूस फर्स्ट।